This is Stephen Williams with Blue Book Black News, and I've been contacted by a lot of people to do an investigation on this story about a person who tweeted in 2012 that Kobe Bryant would die in a helicopter crash. And a lot of people were speculating if this was true. Did they somehow hack their Twitter feed and put a 2012 date on there or something? Like, can this be true? And then when that happened, a lot of people were thinking like the Illuminati, that there was some type of setup, that this crash was brought about by some other people that wanted to see Kobe die. And so what I did is I went ahead and did some investigations. And one of the first places that I looked at was Snopes. And you know that on Snopes, what they'll do is they have some people that work for them, and they'll do some in-depth investigations. And I also looked around the web, and what I found was that the tweet was true. And you can see here that Snopes put that it was true, gave it a true rating, and it basically is stating that the person using their Twitter account made a statement, a tweet, saying that Kobe would die in a helicopter crash. Well, one of the things that I had found in my research, and something that you should be aware of, is that this individual knew that Kobe was flying in a helicopter, that he had, when he had injured himself, that they were flying him back and forth for things that he had to do pertaining to that, and that he also just used his own private helicopter, and he would fly commercially to get from place to place just because of the traffic in LA. And I kind of use this analogy. If you know that someone is a drug user and they were out there, always on drugs, and you predicted that they were going to die of an overdose, would you really be predicting, or would you have seen their pattern, and you can, if something was to happen, especially if they use drugs all the time, you can kind of say it's likely that they could possibly overdose. Well, you could say that about anyone that flies a lot, that, potentially that they could die in a crash, or like he was flying in a helicopter a lot of times, and could predict that it could happen. What I would consider a prediction, something more than the extenuating accident that would predict what would happen. You have two levels of a prediction here. You have that he would die, and you have that he would die in a helicopter crash. But if you look back at what I said earlier, that he was always flying in helicopters, and that, when he was injured, he had flew back and forth to his therapy appointments for his knee and other stuff, and that he always flew in a private helicopter that he owned and commercially, just because of the traffic in LA, you can predict that things like this could happen. Now, let's just go into it here, is that this is supposedly the tweet, and, this is what he said at that time. And then he came back here January 26, 2020, and said, I'm sorry, FFF, that he feels sorry about putting it into the universe, is what he said in his own words, that he just felt bad about it because he thinks that this happened because he put it into the universe. And we can see here that in articles back at that time, there was a couple of articles where he would regularly fly in a helicopter for personal travel, and it said right here that for his when he was going through some of the injuries that he had when he was going back and forth to see doctors in the hospital. Here we go, right here in his personal helicopter. So that's what I kind of relate that whole thing to, is that it's not necessarily where someone predicted the demise of someone, where they, said, hey, he didn't know that he was flying in helicopters a lot, and that he put out a story. It would be different if he didn't know anything about Kobe flying in helicopters, and that he predicted that he was going to die in a helicopter. You could at least say he would have 3 levels of of putting together some type of prediction. But I'm gonna say with the Blue Book Black News truth meter, it's true that he did put out the tweet from what I can see, and I'm going to continue investigating because it could be a hack also. I'm not going to say that it was not a hack yet, but some other sources have said that it's not a hack and that it is an original tweet. So I'm inviting you to post your comments on this story, and also download our app. Go to your app store, either iPhone or Google Play Store. Download Blue Book Black News. See stories that you probably won't see out there. Fake, we got the fake news and all of those places out there, or slanted news where they're slanting the news against certain members in our community just because they want to, either because of the way that they were raised or whatever. We're just publishing the news from what it is. We're not putting any slants or anything on there. It's just the news is what it is, and we're not making it conservative or liberal or anything in between. It's going to be what it is what it is. So please post your comments. Please subscribe to our channel. This channel is going to be growing, I guarantee it. And also, if you have not yet, please download our mobile app, Blue Book Black News, at your app store. And we're going to have an interesting addition in our new upgrade where you will be able to make money if you're posting newsworthy information. You don't have to wait to have a certain amount of people become subscribers to a channel or anything. If you see anything newsworthy, you'll be able to post it and we'll pay you for it. All right. Until next time, thanks a lot.